Well, hello and welcome back to Brave New Teaching, and welcome back to our Back to School mini-series. We are thrilled that you are here and ready to dive into some practical and creative planning with us.
This mini-series will take you through 5 days, 5 categories, and 5 minutes of collaboration and inspiration to ensure your back to school season is fun for both you and your students, and also set up for a successful academic year ahead.
Welcome to Day 2, Community Building. Cue the music.
You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a teacher from Southern California.
Join us at bravenewteaching.com to find out more about our courses, festivals, and get every episode's show notes.
We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show.
Back to School with BNT is sponsored by Happy Hour, the BNT podcast's in-depth best friend that offers step-by-step lesson plans, monthly resources, and a real, it's us, unfiltered look at teacher life.
Head to bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to finally join us and become a member, part of the family, and feel the support of a truly open door teacher community.
When you join Happy Hour today, we are sharing our one-of-a-kind Google Calendar template.
And after you install the BNT Planning Google Calendar template, you will have access to our monthly checklists, formative assessment reminders, backwards planning check-ins, and even our look ahead Saturday reminders. These are my absolute favorites.
They really do help, like a lot.
Each of these events seamlessly integrates into your Google Calendar, and you can toggle it on and off at any time.
Head over to bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to register now and enjoy the show. Friends, it is day 2 of our Back to School with BNT, and today we're talking about community building. We are guessing that since you are here, you are probably like-minded to us, or like a friend or a teacher down the hall said, hey, there's a mini-series. You should be listening to this. Let's get you started on the Brave New Teaching community journey here. So we're guessing that you value community and building community in your classroom. And we have many episodes of the regular podcast that talk about the importance, nay, the necessity of building community in your classroom for like practical things like behavior management, but then also just for like student well-being and belonging and teacher well-being and all of that good stuff. And so we want to help you prioritize that from day 1. Amanda is going to kick us off with her best tip for building community from the beginning, and then I will bring you mine.
Quickly, before I give my tip, I do want to say that Marie and I talk about this so much. This episode is incredibly special because we had to actually decide
what is our best one.
What is the top tip, right? Like that to me was like, this was really, really hard. And so for me, community building has to start right away, but your vision of it has to be big, right? Because your community building, not just for getting to know each other's names, your community building for the kinds of relationships and things that you're going to need to do all the hard things that you're going to get to down the road. So for me, in the beginning of the year, I think it's important that your community building activities serve multiple purposes. If they're just name games or just icebreakers and they kind of exist in their own bubble, I've felt that they have a hard time kind of blending into all of the other things that really are a community, right? Like your classroom is not just the people, it's the people going through their routines. It's the people doing work together that's academic. It's the people doing random social things, also. So I would say, can your activity serve a double or triple purpose? So if you're doing an icebreaker, can you also do it while introducing a routine? Are you doing attendance? Can you do it in a way that helps your students explore an area of your classroom? So, right, like how can you multi-purpose the classroom community building so it doesn't feel isolated?
Well, and it doesn't feel artificial. That's why I hate icebreakers.
Yes.
Like that's why I hate the little icebreaker things that we always have at like PD things or like, like events where
they exist in a vacuum.
Because it's like, why?
Right.
Give me something that's really tangible and good and like going to be moving forward. Yes. Okay. Well, so here comes my tip. my tip is to build in structured conversations or discussions, big group, small group, partner, whatever it is, however it is that you want students talking to each other and talking to you, like you have to be part of it if you really want it to work well. Do it in a way that is about low stakes topics. They can be as down to earth or stupid as you want them to be, so long as they are structured conversations. And by that, I mean, build in a script where every individual participating has to introduce themselves. Maybe give them a sentence frame for introducing themselves in a certain way. Hi, my name is blank. I am blank years old, right? Like I use blank pronouns and my favorite sandwich is blank. Like maybe that's how they greet every single human that they talk to. And then also give them like a half sheet. I have this little, it's on our Brave New Teaching like shop site. If it's not, I'll make sure that it is by the time this airs. I call it my discussions placemat, and it's got sentence frames for responding to other people too. Like, I heard that you said blah. I agree, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it, yes, it is absolutely as awkward as it sounds. And yes, kids say it in the way that I just said it to kind of like poke fun at me. But then when we reflect later on or right after the fact, they go, that actually made it a lot easier to talk because I like had to follow a script. And it's that low stakes that we want for the beginning of the year. They're all doing a shared experience, which is the best way to create community.
Well, and one of the things that we teach, right, when you kind of get behind that in the back room of BNT and like when you're part of happy hour, we talk a lot about the importance of structure and planning. And I actually use my Google Calendar. I use my Trello boards. I use all of these, especially when it comes to seminars and structured discussions. I need to know when they're going to be. And I want to make sure that I have scaffolded enough opportunities before any of those conversations that students are ready to have them. And then even so, right, each of those that I have on my calendar are practices for the next and the next and the next, but having them visually so easy to see and to drag and drop and just have that laid out, that makes what Marie's talking about actually serve what I said, was it's serving those multiple purposes, right? Kids know how to interact with one another because you have already prioritized classroom discussion in your planning.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that Amanda mentioned like the Trello board templates that we have for happy hour members and the Google Calendar template. I use that all the time because I try to have things pretty, again, happy hour members, you guys already have heard us say this over and over about templating our weeks and building routine into the daily structure of classroom happenings. I like to have discussions at least once a week. And sometimes it's hard, to quote myself, to see the forest through the trees because
I can't. You guys have no idea. You have no idea.
I get made fun of a lot for saying that. And I say it at school a lot. My students make fun of it too. It's pretty funny.
My God.
Anyways, it gets hard though when you're like in it, right? To be able to see your way out. And so like the Google Calendar template that we have, that our happy hour members have, is designed in a way to combat that and to make it really clear and to be able to see like, oh, okay, maybe my regular Friday discussion isn't going to work because of X, Y, and Z that I've got coming. So I'm going to slide it over to like another day. It's just serving me in a way that my paper calendar, which I have not gotten rid of, I absolutely use a paper planner.
Me too.
But it serves my paper planner. And then my paper planner, like they work in tandem.
My paper planner has become more of like a dream journal.
Yeah.
To be honest, which is good because I need the notifications to go off. Totally. I need the reminders. So we approve of all methods, but we especially know that we need digital reminders for things, especially the things that we say at the beginning of the year that matter to us. We want to make sure that they still do, even when we can't see the forest through the trees. It kind of does feel nice to say,
doesn't it?
I get why this is a comfort zone for you, but I feel like it might be contagious, which is nerve-wracking.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, friends. So it is time today to stop listening to us, to go and think about what you want to implement in the first 3 days or whatever it is, how you're going to start building community. And it doesn't have to be super overwhelming. It can be activities that serve the other things that you need to get done, like learning routines, like whatever it is, learning all of their names, like, I'm not good at that. And so having discussions that are really formulaic help with that.
Make sure you listen to the first one of this series. There's going to be 5. So we're on day 2. Make sure that you caught all 5 of our episodes.
Yes. And we will be back tomorrow talking a little bit about preparing yourself for the whirlwind that is going back to school and getting like your own mask on, so to speak, before helping somebody else with theirs. Yeah, we will be back tomorrow with day 3. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye. Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here and have a great week at school.